The near paradise that is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and the Blue Ridge Parkway. The region is one of my favorite places on Earth and should be on everyone's list of places to visit. In Gatlinburg, we stumbled across this tiny church.
It's kind of amazing.
I know nothing of it and can find no information beyond a few pictures. If anyone knows the place, I'd love to hear something about it. If you walk the main strip just a little, just up behind some of the attractions, is the Gatlinburg Cemetery. Here, many of the former residents of White Oak Flats are laid to rest. There are old graves here beside those of much more recent times, though whether there are any current or future burials, I know not. This is an expansive cemetery, and it really isn't feasible to read all of the names. Also, the heat was unforgiving, but I did take time for a few.
Over by the fence we have Lorraine R. Fowler. A few inches away, John Thomas Fowler, October 7th, 1918 to April 20th, 1996. And this grave looks very recent. Martha Fowler, 1952 to 1973. And Barbara P. Reagan, 1901 to 1982. And other members of the Reagan family. Here we have Leslie Ann Reagan, Tipton, 1960 to 2005, and a picture. If tears could build a stairway and memories a lane, I'd walk high up to heaven to see you again.
Andrew and Martha Ogle. Ownby. It was the Ownby cabin we visited before. The cemetery is mostly cared for, mostly, but some are leaning and others broken.
Elizabeth Gunston Oakley, 1812 to 1895. Grandma Wiley M. Oakley. Hermione Connor Oakley, 1851 to 1894, mother of Wiley Oakley. Mariah McCarter.
This is a region with a lot of history. Like can be found at Cades Cove. Cades Cove Primitive Baptist Church has its own cemetery, but
I can't really read the names of the people in the graves because we have to stay on the trail.
Abbott, Brown, and Oliver.
Oliver. We passed John Oliver's cabin on the way in.
This cemetery, like the one in Gatlinburg, is large and speaks of a heavy populated group of communities pushed out. There were logging operations and mining in the old days that were wreaking havoc on the landscape.
And over here we have a much older area. William A. Parks. They're just, like some of them are just stones.
The park was chartered around 1934 and officially designated in 1940. Logging and mining were abolished and homesteading families were evicted. Left behind were those who had passed on. At least their resting place is the land they loved.
Lazarus Oliver. Sam T. Gregory. The LaQuire brothers. Willie and Fred.
Willie didn't live long.
No, 2 years old. Wow.
We visit their church. The cemeteries and churches are far from forgotten. The national park gets visitors numbering around 10 million yearly.
Organized in July the second Saturday, 1849.
I guess this is where the choir would sit.
They probably separated men and women.
That's true.
The church stands as it was, simple. It's all wood, and there is little to distract from the message.
Okay.
But this is still original from back in the 1800s. You know, I see they painted the outside of it, but yeah, this is super.
We make way for other visitors. Driving through Cades Cove, which I hope to investigate more closely in the future, one can see what an absolutely amazing land this is, and I can imagine how hard it was for the people to leave, and the frustration of knowing they had no choice. If there is a bright side, it's that the land has had a chance to repair from the industries that were destroying it piece by piece, and today it's kept pristine. Never ever feed the wildlife. There are waysides that share the histories of these peoples. Just up the 441 from Cherokee is the 1886 operational Mingus grist mill. Instead of a water wheel, this one uses a water-powered turbine to power the machinery, which flows down this channel to the building.
It's cold.
Yeah, straight from the ground.
It's open 9 to 5 daily, mid-March to mid-November. Inside is a little different setup from the last one we explored.
We are a working grist mill. We're not running today. We're some kind of most days we run.
The only thing that has changed here is the year in which it resides.
The power source is cross shaft. The problem
This cornmeal is for sale. It's good. Glad to see people come to learn about history.
Stacey beat me upstairs.
It is.
Was it fun?
Uh-huh.
And there is documentation to learn from. This mill actually stands on its original site, a contrast to the mountain farm. The surrounding community once depended heavily on this building.
Do not vandalize. There's a third story that is apparently inaccessible to the public. There's a door to the outside from the second story.
And it's time to head on.
And there are men inside who will give you all the information you need of the history and how the mill works. It's a working mill, but it's not working today. And it looks like you can buy cornmeal.
This was a working mill, and then it was in disrepair. And then when the government ran roughshod over this area to take it over, they restored the mill, made it a tourist attraction.
Harsh, but absolutely true.
No, it's good because they saved it. But the government can just take your stuff if they want it.
They can. They can.
And the end doesn't always justify the means.
Wait, was that a little harsh? How about this?
So this is fun. The mill was in bad disrepair in the 30s when they took it over, and they restored it, and now it's a tourist attraction, so you can see how things used to be up here in the mountains.
You may see elk on your visit, but we'll get to that heavily in an episode soon. A lot of elk.